Released in 1994 and exclusive officially to Japan until now, Live Alive sees itself as the next retro game to see the 2D HD treatment by Square Enix. Live Alive sees you progress through 7 scenarios across different time periods in any order you like, and then 2 final ones that wrap everything up at the end. You'll progress through prehistoric times right the way through to the distant future in order to unravel the mystery behind the game. If I was to sum up Live Alive in one word, it would be originality. It runs through every facet of the game, even down to how the design premise was pitched. Square got a group of random anime artists into their studios, tossed a generic JRPG engine at them and just left them to it. Live Alive is what emerged from this gestalt, and it's a perfect example of some of the experimental RPGs that were being pumped out throughout the mid to late 90s. Much gets made of the fact that Live Alive was a commercial failure, which makes its remake a success a bit confusing. This gets far less confusing when you consider that Square almost intended for the original to be a disaster by releasing it only in Japan, to no fanfare at all, and only about a month or so before the release of Final Fantasy VI.
Thank God, finally. After 3 days and 3 nights of walking through the desert. Civilization!
Given its somewhat unique conception, Live Alive was never going to grow up to be a normal game. Each part of the game has its own unique art, character, story and gameplay mechanics. The prehistory scenario contains no spoken words and every description is written along the lines of stick is stick, rock is hard, hurts when thrown, that type of shit. The Chinese scenario sees you as an aging martial artist in a quest to train 3 students over the course of a large number of tedious training fights. The Wild West scenario has you defend a town from bandits with a series of traps to whittle down the enemy and then you pick the stragglers off at the end. The breadth of gameplay variety here is staggering, from fight heavy battle ones to scenarios where hardly any fighting occurs at all. The sci-fi chapter and the prehistory ones I see as the ones people are going to either love or despise, but I admire a game that takes risks, even if they mess it up at times.
Coming too.
The incredibly short length of some of the chapters means that there's no character development at all. The present day one here is key. The entire chapter consists of only 6 battles with nothing in between. Now it all works and it makes sense in the end, but we know nothing of this main character that the game is very insistent we give a shit about. If originality is Live Alive's building blocks, then they rest on a foundation of inconsistency. The gameplay has astonishing peaks and troughs to it, ranging from excellent and exciting 1 hour to a tedious grindfest the next. But due to their length, none will ever really outstay their welcome. This is a blessing and a curse. One thing that is a blessing is the new graphics, which are gorgeous. Square Enix have really nailed the 2D HD method now and it's so good to look at. It really gives the game a new lease of life, especially when you consider that the original looked quite dated even on release. Another thing they've updated is a full voice cast, and this can be quite hit and miss. All the cast now performed their lines admirably, with very few straying into "I'm clearly just reading a script here" territory. The biggest issue I have with the voices is that the accent salad on the English dub. There's just too many weird placed accents to make it convincing. You'll have Japanese orphans speaking with flawless English accents. It's madness. But then, most of the fun in Live Alive is the sheer madness of it all. They really just don't make games like this anymore, or if they did, they'd parse it out into 3 or 4 parts to try and squeeze as much money out of you bastards. So you should revel in the quirkiness, not shy away from it. Let's hope this means a lot more titles will be getting an airing out of the box labelled only for Japan. I can only imagine how something like Bahamut Lagoon would look with this degree of a makeover. In conclusion, you really should take a shot and Live Alive. It plays like a game from some other dimension where they take artistic risks and really try and show the player something that they've never seen before. It's excellent.
You've not tasted true fear yet!